Just be patient. There's going to be good days. There's going to be days where they're going to be trying to double team you. That's when, we got other players. Those guys got to make plays. We got to run the ball. And when the opportunities come and when we have leads, when other guys start making plays, the single coverage will come, the one-on-ones, and then we'll take advantage of it.
Eli, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
And the Giants on defense will be without 3 of their starters tonight: Robert Ayers, George Selvey, and Devon Kennard. As for the 49ers, tight end Vernon Davis is missing his second straight game with a knee injury. And outside linebacker Ahmad Brooks did not make the trip. He is mourning the death of his sister, Al.
All right, thank you. Our sympathies to Ahmad and his family on the death of his sister. As you look at the 2 head coaches, Jim Tomsula, formerly the defensive line coach, and he got the job replacing Harbaugh. Tom Coughlin, of course, has been here for a long time. And as Chris mentioned, at 3-2, they would be atop the NFC East. Josh Brown to kick off for the New York Giants, and Bruce Ellington, second year out of South Carolina. He was their 4th pick in last year's draft. There is Odell Beckham, who of course had the moment of his career on a Sunday night here against Dallas last November, and we start with a touchback. Let's take a look at the 49er starters.
Colin Kaepernick, Nevada.
Carlos Hyde, The Ohio State University.
Bruce Miller, Central Florida.
Anquan Bolden, Florida State University.
Torrey Smith, Maryland.
Vance McDonald, Rice University.
Joe Staley, Central Michigan University.
Alex Boone, The Ohio State University.
Marcus Martin, Southern Cal.
Jordan Devey, Memphis. Eric Pierce, Colorado State.
That line has had its issues both in the run game and in protecting Kaepernick, who's been sacked often this season. 49ers last in the league in scoring. Hyde is the running back on the first scrimmage play of the night. And Hyde, second-year back, who supplants Frank Gore, who took his talents to Indianapolis and played well the other night in their win against Houston. Makes it 2nd down and 5. Colin with the 32nd ranked passer rating among the qualifiers, so it's been a bad year all around. Played decently on opening night, but had 4 picks against Arizona, 1 last week, and now he has Reggie Bush in the backfield with him in the shotgun on 2nd down and 6. The fake to Bush, then to the outside to Ellington, and the 49ers start with the first down and a lot more into Giants territory and knocked down at the 46-yard line by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie after a gain of 30 yards.
If you get the first 2 guys blocked, then you've got something going, because now here comes the lineman and Joe Staley out in front of this thing. That was entirely too easy, and what a great drive starter there for Colin Kaepernick, who needed a little dose of confidence.
Now he has Hyde back in the game. And again, they go trips to the right side. And Kaepernick goes that way. They run the same play to the other side, and Ellington gets forced out of bounds after a gain of 9. Brandon Merriweather with the tackle. Let's take a look at the Giants D.
Kerry Wynn, Richmond.
Jay Bromley, Syracuse University. Jonathan Hankins, The Ohio State.
Colin Jenkins, Central Michigan.
Mark Hertzlick, Boston College.
John Beeson, The U.
J.T. Thomas, West Virginia.
Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Tennessee State.
Brandon Merriweather, The U.
Landon Collins, Alabama.
Prince Mukamara, Nebraska. Go Big Red.
2nd down and 1 now from the 36-yard line. Swinging to the outside, trying to get around the corner, and he does for a first down, is Hyde. You look at that Giants defense, Chris, they are number 1 in the league against the run and last in the league against the pass.
Well, you're getting something right anyway, right? But this is a team that most defensive coordinators, when you talk to them, what's the first thing they always tell us?
Stop the run.
You got to stop the run. You stop the run, you make them one-dimensional, and that's exactly what they've been able to do with Steve Spagnuolo's defense on that side. But so far, making it too easy on a quarterback that needs a confidence boost to get one.
From the 31, again to the outside, looking for a little bit of room. Some tough running. There goes Hyde. Hyde, their number 2 pick, grew up in Cincinnati, and then he played high school football down in Florida. Lived with his grandparents, came back to Ohio State. Frank Gore, of course, was the stud, the workhorse all of these years. He left with the Colts, and so that spot now belongs to one Carlos Hyde.
He just ran over John Beeson, and John Beeson very slow to get up here. Watch Hyde here. They're going to go helmet to helmet, and obviously nothing illegal about that out in the open field. And that was a big hit right there. So Wani Unga has played a lot of that middle linebacker position, and now we're going to see him in the ball game.
Well, Beeson able to trot off. He missed the first 2 games this year, recovering from a knee injury sustained early in preseason, but he's able to trot off the field, and it will be 2nd down and 3. So Unga comes in, played his college football at BYU, and has 2 interceptions this season. Hyde, the running back, on 2nd down and 3. Gets it again and won't go anywhere. The giant run D is right there. Jonathan Hankins makes the tackle, and Hankins tackling an old teammate, the 2 of them Buckeyes.
Well, there's one of the stars on that defense that's so good against the run right there. Is going to work against Marcus Martin. And in fairness, the one bit of a struggle for this 49ers, especially on that offensive line, has been on that right side. But Jonathan Hankins, a guy that came up with a lot of sacks a year ago. 7, doesn't have any so far this year, but very good against the run.
3rd and 3 from the 23. Keep it on the ground and go nowhere. Again, that run D, that's Reggie Bush. They try Bush over the right side. That doesn't work. So a good-looking drive at the outset bogs down. In comes the field goal unit.
Wani Unga, check him out. He just filled in for Beeson. And Vance McDonald, who was pulling around the tight end, never saw him coming and basically made the tackle on Reggie Bush himself. That was a big defensive stand there after a slow start.
43-yard attempt. Phil Dawson, longtime Cleveland Brown, came over 3 years ago to San Francisco. 17th year in the league. And Dawson accounts for the first points of the game. Some 3:41 into the first quarter. 3-0 San Francisco. (3-0) as their punter and kickoff man, Brad Pinion, played at Clemson. He was their 5th-round draft choice, and the former New England Patriot Shane Vereen came over as a free agent. So the Giants is back to receive, and that one will work its way through the end zone. Let's take a look at the New York offense.
Eli Manning, Ole Miss.
Rashad Jennings, Liberty University.
Odell Beckham Jr., LSU.
Ruben Randall, LSU.
Dwayne Harris, East Carolina University.
Larry Donnell, the G, Grambling State.
Eric Flower, All About the U. Justin Pugh, Syracuse.
Weston Richburg, Colorado State. Jeff Schwartz, Oregon.
Marshall Newhouse, TCU.
Offensive line's done a nice job. Will Beatty got injured in the spring, and he's been out. So it's a little bit of a makeshift line, and here goes Jennings. After the 49ers scored their first points in the first quarter of the season in this game number 5. So 172 consecutive starts for Eli. You do the math, that's almost 11 full seasons. And only Brett Favre and his brother have had more consecutive starts in their careers. He may, in a couple of years, if he keeps on going, catch Peyton. But way behind Favre, whose record is out of reach. 2nd down and 7 from the 23-yard line. Sent Dwayne Harris out to the right. Manning off the spot, completes it, and then fighting is Jennings, who had a big catch and run to win the game last week in effect against Buffalo. Michael Wilhoit makes the tackle.
One of the things they really want to do with Eli Manning in this game is try to make him move out of the pocket. It was almost the exact opposite of what you would do with Aaron Rodgers a week ago, where they wanted to try and contain him. But they want to see Eli move, and they got him off that spot, even though it was complete there.
3rd down and 1 as they came right up to the line to try to force the 49ers to keep that same group in on 3rd down and short. Now the play clock's at 3, 2. They just do get it off. They give it to Jennings, and he gets the first down after initial contact behind the line of scrimmage by Quentin Dial. He just rammed through him to move the sticks.
Weston Richburg with a good block up front, but it is interesting to watch this 49ers defense that used to be fairly simple with their checks, now much more complex. They will try to match wits with Eli more than what they've done in the past.
And again, the Giants going without a huddle as they did much of last week and have done much of this season, and some good tough running. Again, gain of 7 for Jennings. Let's take a look at the San Francisco starters.
Ian Williams, Notre Dame.
Quentin Dow, Alabama.
Corey Lemonnier, Auburn University.
Navarro Bowman, Penn State.
Michael Will Hoyt, Highland Park High School, Topeka, Kansas.
Aaron Lynch, South Florida. Tremaine Brock, Dale Haven.
Antoine Bethea, the Mecca, the real HU, Howard University.
Eric Reed, Louisiana State University.
Kenneth Thacker, SMU.
Jimmy Ward, Northern Illinois.
And deep downfield, Beckham got free. Beckham beat the coverage, and Beckham gets tackled finally at the 13-yard line. He ran by Tremaine Brock and got free. Eli put it right into the basket, and off he goes for a gain of 49.
You know, the 49ers, as much as any team I watch, they want to disguise coverages, and that's a great thing. But when you screw it up, like they've done several times this year, it's just giving away points and yards, and that time it couldn't have been easier for Odell Beckham.
So that was on a 2nd and 3. Now at the 12-yard line, the play fake. Manning checking off, looking around, throws, and finds the open guy, and that's the former Cowboy Dwayne Harris. Free agent, came over to play a little bit of wide receiver, but mainly be a run-back specialist. Jimmy Ward makes the tackle.
Yeah, but he has taken on a very important role with this football team right now. He is that slot receiver. They had Preston Parker in there, but he dropped a bunch of them, cut him, and so now unexpectedly Harris is the guy.
2nd and 4, a little toss back. Jennings, you caught a glimpse of Eric Mangini, who is the defensive coordinator, and he knows this area pretty well. He was the head coach of the Jets a few years ago. Antoine Bethea just made the last tackle, and it will be 3rd down.
Eric Mangini, boy, he went through a lot, didn't he, this offseason? All the different adjustments and guys that left, Patrick Willis and Chris Borland and Chris Colliver and Parrish Cox, and now Ahmad Brooks not here, so it has been an evolving defense this year.
Andre Williams, their short yardage guy, and they put a fullback into the game as well. Nikita Whitlock on 3rd down and 1. And there's Williams, and he's going to get stuffed. That's going to make it 4th down and very short. Ian Williams in the middle makes the stop. And Coughlin can only shake his head and send out Josh Brown to try to tie the game.
Say, it's just man on man right in here now. Comes right around the block there. Big pile inside, and for Tom Coughlin, that is sort of signature New York Giants football. They want to be able to pound it inside, but 49ers answered on that one.
22-yard field goal attempt here for Josh Brown. And with 6:22 remaining in the opening quarter, knotted 3-3 at the Meadowlands. Empire State Building in Manhattan. Jim Tomsula, a coaching lifer. He spent several years as a coach, NFL Europe, 4 different European teams. Then he's been with the 49ers for several years and wound up getting the job when Harbaugh left, as did most of the rest of the coaching staff. Kickoff fielded a couple of yards in. Ellington. And he's taken down just shy of the 20-yard line. Kaepernick and company, their second possession coming up. Colin Kaepernick became a starter midway through his second season, took the team to the Super Bowl. And when you look at the snap to pass, he takes a long time. He has that long windup. And he's been pressured on 43% of his dropbacks, which speaks, of course, a lot to the offensive line and lack of production. Pro Football Focus has that as the 3rd worst in the league, or 3rd most. Worst works too. From the 19-yard line, Hyde gets taken down in the backfield. That was coming up Landon Collins, who came back from his safety spot to knock him down before he could get rolling.
Yeah, getting back to that graphic just a little bit, I think the one thing the 49ers would like to see is exactly what they saw on some of those quick screens. They want to get the ball out of Colin Kaepernick's hands tonight. Don't sit in the pocket. He took 6 sacks a week ago, 14 sacks on the season, 3rd most. So they want to see him, honestly, play a little more like Eli Manning did last week against Buffalo. Get that thing out of your hand.
2nd and 11. Play fake. That buys good time for him. Then a short pass again and a short gain as Hyde gets taken out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down. J.T. Thomas makes the tackle.
There's Kaepernick up underneath center. And, of course, when you've got a back like Carlos Hyde, why not? Gives you a little play action fake and a chance to get the ball out in their hand. You know, so many great quarterbacks in this league. All they do is distribute it out to their playmakers. The 49ers have plenty of those. Big play threat and Torrey Smith. If they can get that running game going, I think this offense will get started.
3rd down and 7 from the 22. Play clock at 2. Just to get it off, and Kaepernick has room to roam and is able to exploit it for a 1st down after the 32. And just to catch you up on John Beeston, we saw him leave the game. He's undergoing concussion protocol right now.
Perfectly done. Colin Kaepernick, we know he can run. Got a little help from his back here. Watch Hyde come over and take on 2 of them, and there's always a gap. And Kaepernick, sometimes when he takes off and runs, you can see that he gets into a game, even if he gets hit occasionally. If I were coaching, I'd probably say, listen, let's just put that slide on hold tonight. Let's go play some football.
From the 31, Kaepernick flushed out, throws, and just throws that away. Chased by Kerry Wynn, has really done a nice job for the Giants along that defensive front this season.
Actually, a good decision by Kaepernick on that one. He had Torrey Smith on the side, and he was going to take a shot. He's looking that way the whole way, but Prince Amukamara right there. He pulled it down, didn't make a bad play, didn't throw an interception, nothing wrong with that.
And through the middle over the left side goes Carlos Hyde. You know, Chris, one thing we're seeing more of that Kaepernick's doing tonight is he's getting under center more than he has this season.
Well, and I think if you're going to get back to trying to run the football, that's the right way of doing it. You can do okay out of the pistol or out of the shotgun and run it a little bit, but certainly options in the running game open up for you when you're under center. A lot of that 3 tight end set out there so far in this game, too.
There you see only 10 passes when he takes the snap from center and 106 from the gun or the pistol. 3rd and 8. Of course, 3rd and long, he goes back into the shotgun formation. You have 3 receivers set to the right side. Kaepernick looking straight over the middle. Flushed out again. Packs it in and goes nowhere. Chased by DeMontre Moore. 4th down. In comes the punting group.
Well, let's take a look at some of these routes run. See if there was anywhere to throw the football. Not really on that side. Torrey Smith coming across the formation, but let's give the Giants a win on that one because they were trying to force Colin Kaepernick to move to his left, and so far that's exactly what's been happening, and he doesn't scramble nearly as effectively moving left.
Bradley Pinion taking over for their longtime punter, Andy Lee, another of those free agent defections, and Harris with a flag coming in. Brings it to the 29-yard line. We played 12 minutes, and we will finally hear the voice of one Walt Coleman.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 18 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, half the distance, 1st down.
All right, just to clean one thing up, Andy Lee traded to Cleveland. Mini defection. 3-3. Eli Manning, his 2nd possession for the Giants upcoming here. Take a look at how quickly he gets rid of the ball, 2.2 seconds. 3rd fastest in the league. We showed you how slow Kaepernick was in getting rid of it. And less than 1 of 4 dropbacks. He's even pressured. Forget about sacks or contact. Even any kind of pressure.
Yeah, big reason why he's only suffered 4 sacks all year. That's third best in the NFL. But what he did against Buffalo last week, I thought was one of the best performances I've ever seen from Eli. Just the fact that that team was such an unbelievably tough pass rushing team, and he handled the pressure basically for his offensive line by getting it out so quickly.
Starts his drive with a tight roll to the right side, and then a good tackle is made on Larry Donnell by number 53, Navarro Bowman. Good to see him back. He had that horrific injury in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago, missed all of last season. He's back, but it takes him a long time to prepare for practice and prepare for a game.
Wasn't that amazing? He talked about the piercing pain when he wakes up every morning. It takes him an hour to get that knee loose.
2nd down and 6, and they have Williams in the game, and he only gets to the 25-yard line. Let's go to Michelle.
Al, as you said, the 2013 NFC Championship game against the Seahawks was the site where Navarro Bowman injured both the anterior and medial collateral ligaments in his left knee. The ACL was torn, which meant it needed to be reconstructed. The MCL did not require surgery, and then Bowman, as you mentioned, sat out the entire 2014 season and still struggles with the knee today, as you mentioned.
Sure, he's back, but good to see him back. His running mate, though, Patrick Willis, retired. And that pass is caught. Can he get the first down? Yeah, even though Bowman had him by the shirt, Donnell was able to pick up enough for the first down at the 30-yard line.
On the outside, a guy that certainly made an impression on his New York Giant teammates so far, Eric Flowers. He has had a bad ankle. He has had a rough way to go so far, but he just simply refuses to come out of the game. And boy, is he an irritant down the field. He's already drawn a couple of personal fouls because he finishes plays so well.
Under a minute and a half to play in the quarter. Shane Vereen, normally in on 3rd down. Big pickup. He had a tremendous Super Bowl, of course. He had 11 catches in the championship win against Seattle and Phoenix last February.
Take one more look at Eric Flowers. There you go, right down on the ground, then sort of jump over you, I guess. But it really has been something to watch him. Hey, has he played great? Not yet, but he has not been close to healthy either.
Manning gets protected well, and then the catch is made in a first down. Will Tye, backup tight end to Larry Donnell. Will Tye out of Stony Brook. Free agent pickup by the Giants. It's a gain of 12, first down.
And he's a big guy. Hopefully he's going to help the Giants with some blocking up front. Of course, we all feel and want to send out our best wishes to Daniel Fells as well. He'll be replacing him in this game.
It's Ty's first NFL catch. Manning, good protection here, and then dropped. Dwayne Harris thinking about heading upfield. 2nd down and 10. Our wishes, of course, going out to Fells. Been in the hospital. The Giants, of course, had to clean up the facility there because that's a dangerous thing. The MRSA infection. 2nd down and 10 at the 44-yard line. Beckham lines up in the backfield, takes the swing pass, and has no place to go. Aaron Lynch, clock stopped at 14, but they'll wind it here. That could be the final play of the period. It'll be 3rd down and 11 when play resumes, but Eli comes up to the line, maybe trying to get another play off before the 49ers can do anything. And flag comes in.
12 men lined up in the formation on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So Eli, knowing that he could probably catch them with an extra guy on the field, and he does.
I think that the 49ers were thinking what you were thinking. They were just going to let it run down, and guys weren't sharp in their execution of the substitution.
So now it'll be 3rd and 7 when the second quarter begins. End of 1. 49ers 3, Giants 3, and Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages.
Waiting all day for Sunday night.
Looking into Lower Manhattan, tonight's aerial coverage being brought to you by Geico. Second quarter begins. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle DeFoy. Sunday Night Football tied at 3. And it begins with a 3rd and 7 for the Giants from their own 47-yard line. Shane Vereen is the back next to Manning. Four-man rush. Manning steps up, fires, caught. Beckham skittering his way inside the 30, and then Bowman catches him from behind at the 21-yard line. So they turned a 3rd and 12 into a 3rd and 7 as Manning caught him with an extra man, and then make it pays off with a 31-yard catch and run.
Jaquaski Tart here bit on that little outside move, and then you see Odell just circle back underneath him. And when that young man gets his hands on the football, it is exciting.
3 catches, 78 yards for Beckham tonight. And they give it, and with a big hole over the right side to Vereen. And he'll get taken down just a little bit short of the first down by Tremaine Brock. There they spot the ball now. He might have the first down, in fact.
Nice job here by Justin Pugh coming around. He is really settling into that guard position now. He played right tackle for the last couple of years. I think they always thought he was going to end up being a better guard, but you can see every week the play of both these guards for the Giants really picking up.
They gave him the extra few inches, thus it's a first down at the 12. And Manning slips one to Beckham, and Beckham gets forced out of bounds by Jimmy Ward. Been playing very well this season. So Odell Beckham, of course, he emerged into the national consciousness in the game against Dallas here last year. Remember, he missed the first 4 games. He couldn't get healthy. Then he got healthy, and Victor Cruz got hurt. And he emerged as such a star that he wound up on the cover of Madden 15.
Yeah, and he said, because really when I made the catch, I didn't think it was that big a deal. It became a big deal.
He made a few of those at LSU, but never on a stage like Sunday night. As Manning steps up, fires a little bit low for Beckham, and they're going to come in and rule that he makes the catch there.
Man, I tell you what, that was a great catch. Somehow he got his hands underneath that ball, and his mitts are so big that it didn't escape. And Eli thought there's no way he caught it, but he did.
Right, he does. He doesn't want to give the 49ers any time to challenge if they wanted to. They wouldn't have won it anyway. And Andre Williams takes it to the 1, 2nd and goal.
You know, and of course Odell had that whole incident last week where he got through the punch and the whole thing, and I think Eli had a long talk with him about, do you know how important you are to our football team? When you get down or you get disrupted the way that you were last week, everybody feeds off of that, and I think Odell really bought into that and understands what an important part of this offense he is.
2nd down and goal. And a little fade, but that's out of the end zone. That's intended for the tight end Donnell Bethea covering on the play. 3rd and goal.
Out there covering Antoine Bethea, I think one of the most respected guys in the National Football League, leads his team in tackles, and you talk to some of their coaches. Eric Mangini says he reminds me of Rodney Harrison. Pretty good praise there.
Ben McAdoo, the offensive coordinator, in his 2nd year in that role. See what he's dialed up here on a 3rd down and goal. Touchdown, Shane Vereen. So the 49ers were able to hold him the first time and limit them to a field goal, but not this time on a 3rd and goal to the former Patriot.
Exactly why Shane Vereen was brought here. I look at this as like free yardage for a quarterback. When you have a guy like Eli Manning who wants to get the ball out quickly, when you have somebody that can run routes like that, I don't think Shane Vereen's the fastest guy in the world, but he is the perfect weapon after being trained by Tom Brady to come play for Eli Manning.
Well, Vereen played for Belichick and now for Coughlin. We asked him about the difference the other day. As Josh Brown kicks the extra point, he says it was like going from Bill A to Bill B.
Great line.
Touchdown Giants, early 2nd quarter. Giants up by 7. Little shot. Midtown Manhattan. As Brown sends the ball down 7 yards deep, drop there, so Ellington was thinking about coming out. Of course, that ended that. Kaepernick and company at the 20 when we come back. That's where the Tonight Show takes place. Comcast Building. Early in the second quarter, the Giants on top 10-3. Giants looking for their third straight win, and the 49ers trying to avoid a fourth consecutive loss. So they go empty here, 5 wide, to start this drive. Kaepernick 3 of his first 4 for 43 yards. Good protection. That's about a 7 or 8 yard gain. Anquan Bolden, and the ball comes out. And Eric Peters, the right tackle.
Second down. Forward progress is ruled.
Right, so they stop the play with forward progress, and we go to Michelle.
Al, linebacker John Beeson is out with a concussion, and the Giants were already shorthanded at linebacker. Devon Kennard and Jonathan Casillas inactive. Now it's Wani Unga who will now wear the speaker in his helmet, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. And a couple of defensive backs are walking around a little gingerly, too. So some issues for Spagnuolo to consider. Second down and 2. And from under center this time, they give the ball to Hyde, and he gets pushed back as he reaches the 29-yard line. So Jim Tomsula gets the job. He was on the staff. They actually interviewed a bunch of guys, including Dan Quinn, who got the Atlanta job, Todd Bowles, who's now the coach of the Jets. Rex Ryan interviewed as well. Got the Buffalo job. They brought Mike Shanahan in with his 2 Super Bowls with Denver. Vic Fangio, who was their defensive coordinator, he left and wound up staying in-house, which very few teams do these days. Third down and 1 from the 29-yard line, and Kaepernick will throw to the outside, caught, and then spinning around and picking up the first down is Quentin Patton. So Chris, when you think about it, the 49ers had the offseason from hell. There's no other way to put it. I can't remember a team losing a coach, a really good coach. By the way, 3 straight shutouts for Michigan, and all of those players, and then the unexpected retirements as well.
And there was a very uncomfortable feeling in that locker room. I won't pretend to know what all went into it, but it was an uncomfortable locker room. And I think that one of the things they did was just hit the reset button. And they thought that Tomsula was the right guy to help them do that.
And Hyde goes nowhere. Pushed back. Giants swarm over him. And if they ever did a sequel to the movie The Departed, it could be about the 49ers.
Tell you what, this guy right here, that's pretty good. Kerry Wynn is a guy that has been just simply hustled his way into the lineup. Now, he's not the greatest pass rusher in the world, but his heart and his knowledge and his leadership on the field the last few weeks has just made a huge difference for this Giant defense.
That was a loss of 7. Fake to him, and then Kaepernick throws. That's another short gain. Everything he's throwing these days is short. Vance McDonald, tight end, makes the catch. Landon Collins, the rookie out of Alabama, the number 2 draft choice, makes the tackle. 3rd and 14.
And Landon Collins just keeps getting better. And if you want to know a big reason why the Giants have the number 1 rush defense, I think it's at least in part that guy right there. That was on a pass. But man, does he come up. This is the way he plays the run, too. Big, strong horse of a man. Played all those years for Nick Saban. He knows what he's doing, and he is learning fast.
3rd and 14. Dump it off. And that's Garrett Selleck to the 33. So Kaepernick, you look at his completions against Green Bay last week. Look at that. He had that 142-yard bomb. Length of each pass from the line of scrimmage. So everything except for that one pass was underneath.
Yeah, and one thing that Jeep Chris said to me was that we get in 3rd and 13 or 14, I'm not putting him in that position. We'll line up, we'll punt it, we'll let our defense go play, and we'll come back and get them next time.
Dwayne Harris fields the punt. And decent run back out to the 35-yard line. A little over 8 minutes to play in the first half. The Giants up 10-3. Bend it like Beckham. Well, not like the soccer playing Beckham, but Odell Jr. Of course, that was a catch for the ages, and all he needs are the 3 fingers, and he brings it home. Of course, he practices that all of the time as well. If you come to a game early, the Giants game, you'll watch him practicing the one-handed catches, the bending backward catches. It's a circus act, I'm telling you. It's a good one. From the 34, and that's caught, and that is Ruben Randall makes the catch up at the 49-yard line, first down. So this is what Beckham does pregame. To the strains of Frank Sinatra.
Fly with me, let's fly, let's fly.
All right. I was down on the field watching him do this too. Look at the crowd. I mean, he does it in that part of the stadium where he starts doing this. Look at the kids standing behind it. Their mouths are, wow. Look at that. It is fun to watch him. He can get off the ground.
Manning throws, and it's a short gain to the 46. I'll tell you what, he would be the greatest highlight player in the world.
That's a good point.
I mean, that hand, it's like a cesta.
Yeah, yeah. He really can't. I still can't quite get over that catch. And it was so much fun talking to him about it. He goes, yeah, I thought it was a good catch, but I've made some. And really, he's made a couple more this year like that, but he was out of bounds. And they're working now with him. It's keeping more room on the field so that he can make more of those catches that count as real plays.
There's a gain of 4 to Donnell. And now threading his way close to a first down is Rashad Jennings. Beckham. He's played the equivalent of a year, 16 games for this year, 12 last year. Some of what he has done, averaging over 100 yards per game, 30-yard or more TD each of his last 5 home games. And tonight he's already caught 5 for 89 yards. That's caught by Beckham, but right there, jumping on top of him, is Eric Reed, and they know each other pretty well because they played with each other at LSU.
That's what gets right through. Eric Reed's going to come flying out of center field on this one. Probably wouldn't have mattered much anyway, but after we do all of that, and then he drops one in the flat, I guess. So, come fly away.
Second down and 10 from the 40. And that's Randall, and Randall starts to go backwards, and the 49ers are able to corral him short of the first down. Acker is there to make the stop. It'll be third down and about 3.
Bring all kinds of pressure, and watch Eli's reaction to it. Just stands right in. You throw it right into the pressure. You can see Will Hoyt trying to hustle his way all the way across over there. Eli knew exactly what he was doing with that one.
Go 53.
5.5 minutes to the half.
Hey. We're good. 118.
Slides left, throws. Randall makes the catch and gets wrestled down by Kenneth Acker. First down.
Acker with a wrestling move almost. Big time takedown on that one. They're going their little rubs and picks and all that stuff. And I tell you, Ruben Randall, look at that. Boom. Ruben Randall, though, has made some plays, a couple of touchdowns in each of the last 2 games, and he's taken some of the pressure off of Odell Beckham.
And the fact that Victor Cruz is still injured has given Randall an opportunity that he might not have otherwise had. It's Manning throws, and that's thrown out of bounds. You see that ATM, the logo on each of the Giants uniforms. I know Manning signed a big new contract. No, he is not an ATM. It's Ann Mara, who of course was the widow of Wellington Mara, the founder of the team, mother of John Mara, major domo of the team, and there it is in honor of one of the great women ever in sports.
No question about it. Really first-class family through and through.
Passed away last February. Second down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Blitz coming, picked up very nicely, pass caught. This is Dwayne Harris setting up a third and about 4 Jimmy Ward makes the stop.
I think one of the really young stars in the league is this guy right here, Aaron Lynch, and they just think that he has unlimited talent working against Marshall Newhouse there. A couple of sacks in that game last week, 3 on the season, and he is the force when you're talking about the pass rush for the 49ers right now.
He watched him at Notre Dame before he went to South Florida.
Freshman year, he was their best player on defense.
3rd and 4 from the 23.
Here comes again.
Really good protection all night, and then it's dropped. Harris on a slant to the inside. Jimmy Ward covering on the play, 4th down.
A little pressure from Lynch once again. Let's take a look at this. Boy, that's a couple. Dwayne Harris had a drop last week, and that's his 2nd one tonight. They have not had an answer at that slot position. It was Preston Parker, and now trying to work Harris in there. They desperately need Victor Cruz, who is one of the best I've ever seen in there at that position.
He's been a bugaboo for the Giants this year. A couple years ago as well. Dropped passes. Josh Brown, 41-yard field goal is perfect. 3:57 to the half. The Giants on top of the 49ers by 10. This week, John Mara, the president, CEO of the New York Giants, on a lot of very important NFL committees, and Steve Tisch, who's a father, joined the Mara group, and buying into this team many years ago. All on hand tonight at the Meadowlands. And the 49ers will take over at the 20-yard line, down 13-3. For an undisclosed condition, Clay Hilton, the offensive coordinator, will take charge as the head coach. Pat Hayden, the athletic director, announcing that today, and that will take place his first game on NBC Saturday night. Anquan Bolden makes the catch after a gain of 5. Rogers Cromartie makes the tackle.
And the 49ers have made a move on their offensive line at guard. Jordan Devey has had some issues in there, and Andrew Tiller is a guy they just brought up from the practice squad, number 61. See if he can get anything going. A little bigger, a little stouter, probably in there to try and help this running game get going.
2nd down and 5. Corner blitz, you saw that one coming, and Bruce Miller makes the catch. Fullback comes out of the backfield. Unga knocks him out of bounds. We talked about the Niners, of course. Jim Harbaugh goes. A lot of friction between he and ownership, and Trent Baalke, notable losses. 10 guys with 8 or more starts, regular starters gone. Of course, the Eagles also had 10, but that was that was voluntary. Notable losses, 24 combined Pro Bowl selections. And you see Frank Gore, Patrick Willis retiring. Aldon Smith, of course, had his issues. They had to release him. He winds up with Oakland. They lost a ton. Kaepernick is going to go deep, and it's incomplete. You have Torrey Smith, who came over from the Ravens. You have a flag on the play. Prince Amukamara with the coverage for the Giants. And Walt Coleman will give us the call.
Number 20, defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And that's the Prince. First down for San Francisco.
Just a lot of hand fighting going on down the sideline. Let's take a look at the top. It's kind of going back and forth. Maybe right there, I think it looked like he sort of grabbed that shoulder pad, and seems to be when he got caught right there. You see the jersey pulled just a little bit, and the officials don't have many jobs in this league, but when the jersey pulls, you're going to see the yellow.
Kaepernick. Line does a really good job, but so does the Giants secondary. And he has to throw it away. So Colin had a ton of time, but nobody gets free. 2nd and 10.
Well, you can't ask for better protection than what he got right there. Somebody's got to get open down the field. And this offensive line, even with Tiller in there, absolutely perfect here. Drop back in coverage does Steve Spagnuolo. And it's one thing I noticed watching his defense on tape last week. They never give you back-to-back looks. You will see a change on key downs so many times from Spagnuolo, and I think that time it just threw the 49ers and Kaepernick off.
2nd and 10. And that's caught. Finding the seam and picking up the first down is Torrey Smith. So the former Raven gives San Francisco a first down at the 34-yard line.
Boy, that was a shot. That's the old Kaepernick we used to see right there. This thing was just in the narrowest of windows there, and I think it almost surprised Torrey Smith that he threw it on that side of the linebacker. But you could see Kaepernick now starting to feel it just a little bit.
Threw a bullet a little bit behind him. And that pass is caught at the 28-yard line. And Vance McDonald makes that catch. We're coming up to the 2-minute warning at the Meadowlands with the Giants on top by a score of 13-3. 2nd down and 4 from the 28-yard line with a swing pass, and that is Patton, and he was well advised to drop it, but now you got Wynn who's down. Rogers Cromartie with the coverage on the play. And then Wynn gets back up, 3rd and 4.
Well, that's a play they should not get away from. They just screwed it up. The 2 wide receivers on the outside blocked the same guy, and that gave Cromartie a running shot. Both these guys are going to take here, and nobody gets Cromartie coming around the edge. So don't be afraid to come back to that one.
Yeah, Wynn went down, but got right back up, 3rd and 4. Carlos Hyde in the backfield with Kaepernick. Stepping up, taking off, picks up the first down and loses the ball, and Kaepernick tries to secure it. And the 49ers indicate he does have it as Kaepernick with a run for a first down on a 3rd and 4, a gain of 14 yards, and the 49ers retain possession.
Let's take a look here. Kaepernick, nice job avoiding the interior pass rush, but then gets it loose, lucky to get that back. And with some of the issues that he's had with turnovers lately, had those 2 pick sixes against Arizona a couple weeks ago, lucky to get that one back. That would have been rough. I want you guys to look at Nikita Whitlock. This guy's a fullback at the nose tackle position, and look at that spin move. He has been getting that kind of pressure in games. He's been doing so well they've had no choice but to play him more. Now officially some packages in there for him.
Minute and a half, ball at the 13-yard line. Little roll to the right. Hey, look at Nikita Whitlock. I mean, he's the guy who plays fullback, so he's in the offensive meetings. Now he's on the defensive line. He's in the defensive meetings. He plays special teams.
Yeah, and Eli was saying over on the sideline, we all get up and we're cheering. There's an offensive guy going over and getting sacks. And Shane Vereen, what did he say? He got a sack last week in that game, and now you can't tell him nothing. He's all cocky and excited. But he is lightning quick, about 5'10", that little spin move. Those big centers have trouble with him.
2nd and 10. And that's caught. Bolden makes the catch. Appears to be a little short of the first down. Is covered by Amukamara, setting up a 3rd down and 1 just inside the 5-yard line.
Kaepernick doing fine when he's going under center, not all out of the shotgun tonight, and really starting to make some big-time throws again. I mean, it has been at least 3 weeks since we've seen him make some throws with confidence and with some authority, and Tom Zula has to be excited about that. Third drive.
3rd and 1. Fake the Hyde. Kaepernick chased. Throws in the end zone too high. Intended for Bolden. So 4th down and 1. And Herzlich put the pressure on and chased Conlon out of the pocket, and in comes the field goal unit.
Nice job there by Mark Herzlich. He's in the game because of an injury to one of the really outstanding defenders, Devin Kennard. And for Herzlich, he's not as athletic as Colin Kaepernick, but he took a good enough angle there to force that throwaway.
So the Giants holding them to a field goal attempt by Dawson. Chip shot here. 22 yards. And that makes it a 1-possession game. The Giants are going to get the ball with a minute and 1. They're also going to get the ball at the start of the second half. 13-6 at the Meadowlands. Giants and the 49ers, two fabled franchises. And you look at some of the names that have been in this one through the years, and they are iconic. Walsh and Parcells and LT, and they have played some phenomenal games, including a couple of them in postseason. Michael Strahan, of course, the Ring of Honor. Bill Parcells is up there. You saw Bill Walsh, of course, the 49er coach for so many years, led them to 3 Super Bowl wins, a franchise that has won a total of 5. And it's down in the end zone by Marine. So how have the two quarterbacks fared thus far tonight? Kaepernick throwing almost all short passes, 118 yards, and the 1 touchdown pass from Eli. And by distance, well, everybody, both guys throwing a lot underneath.
Thanks to Bill Walsh. That has been the way it has been since he kept winning all those Super Bowls. So it's all about ball control. Some of the quarterback rating stuff is all about completion percentage and all that. So why not? They're going to get paid based on that number. They're going to do it.
Eli with the short throw. Vereen gets taken down immediately. Tackle made there by Jimmy Ward. Giants quickly to the line. They have all of their timeouts. Clock ticks down to 45. Second down and 6. Beckham's way, then he shoots one underneath, and that'll be a nice gain. Vereen trying to get out of bounds, and he does. Paquet makes the tackle there. Stops the clock with 35 seconds, gain of 12.
Navarro Bowman, before that knee injury, was as good a cover guy as there was in this league, along with Patrick Willis. You can tell just a step slower than what he used to be. Maybe he will get back, not quite yet.
Took that gun much too high.
That's saying something.
Yes. Yeah.
Just didn't get a chance to jump. But he is a funny guy. It's almost, sometimes you see him he's had 2 catches this year that basically he landed out of bounds but still made that unbelievable catch. Sometimes I think he catches it better with one hand.
Jam, 53. Here, go. This. 180. Right, set.
Second and 10. It's a 4-man rush. Now that's caught. Taking it to midfield is Will Tye. And they take a timeout to the Giants. Josh Brown loosening up for a possible field goal attempt. Actually, he hopes it's an extra point at the 50. 2 timeouts, 24 seconds for the Giants. And that's caught over the middle, and that's another catch for Will Tye. Free agent out of Stony Brook, signed up the practice squad. Timeout. So the Giants in field goal range, 18 seconds, and a timeout at their disposal from the 32 now. To the outside, open, Harris makes the catch. He gets to the 14-yard line. And now the Giants race up to the line, but take a timeout at the 14. So this is their final timeout. And they'll have a first down at the 14-yard line.
You know what's really amazing, Al, is that Eli Manning, I want you to think about where he was after 2 weeks. There has never been anybody that's taken, wow, that's a big statement in New York City, but he was taking a lot of heat. Just signed the big contract, and and he blew the clock management and all those kinds of things. A lot of guys under the glare of this spotlight would melt. And Eli almost acts like he doesn't even have a pulse when it's something of those concerns, and sort of like he was in the Super Bowl for those 2 wins.
Now what they better make sure of, as the 49ers take a timeout, and we'll talk about that when we come back. We're back. We started to say what the Giants have to make sure of is not completing a pass inbounds that doesn't get into the end zone, because you have 11 seconds, no timeouts. You're not going to have time to spike it. You got to get the field goal unit out there. So it's got to be to the boundary and out or to the end zone for Manning here.
And no sack.
And no sack. Correctamundo. somehow winds up with it as well. Now you've got dual possession, Tremaine Brock, and they give it to him on the interception. So you have to throw it to the end zone or get out of bounds. They throw it to the end zone, and a huge pick for Brock.
They keep doing the same thing. They keep bringing Lynch inside the tackle, forcing Eli to move. And when he moved to his right, he got no height whatsoever on that throw. It was a horrible throw. I don't even know what he was thinking about. Brock was just sitting there right underneath him. There's Lynch jumping inside a Newhouse. And then once he moved to his right, it had no chance. It really had no chance at all.
Only the second interception of the season for Eli. The other came on the last pass he threw at Buffalo. Last year in this game, he threw 5 against San Francisco. It's only the 49ers' third takeaway in 4.5 games. But they're in the game as we go to the half. The Giants get the ball to start the second half. To the locker rooms they go. The score is 13-6. New York coming up next. The Toyota halftime after these messages from your NBC station. Halftime, the Giants on top by a score of 13-6 as they seek the third straight win, and San Francisco tries to break a 3-game losing streak. First half, Colin Kaepernick with 3 carries for 23 yards and 118 through the air, led him on 2 field goal drives. Eli with some really good numbers on the pace for a 450-yard night. Beckham with 5 catches, including a 49-yarder. Beeson, early concussion, went through the protocol, out for the game. And the New York Giants are going to get the ball as you look down into MetLife Stadium, home of the Giants and the Jets, who were off this week after they were in London last week. Shane Vereen to run it back. And Bradley Pinion will get us underway in the second half. And Vereen takes a knee there.
Well, as you said, Al, Eli could not have played much better in that half until that last throw. All the moves in and out by Odell Beckham early on. It's Vereen for the touchdown pass. Just looked razor sharp coming off that Buffalo Bills game. But then this move right here with Aaron Lynch starting to come inside Newhouse to try to force Eli off the spot. That was the game plan for tonight. Get Eli moving and hope he made throws like that.
So now Manning moves Jennings into the backfield, gives it to him, and he gets stood up at the line of scrimmage and pushed back by Ian Williams. And we go to Michelle.
Well, I spoke with Tom Coughlin at halftime, asked him about Eli Manning's pick, and he said, hey, we've got to take the ball, keep the ball, and score touchdowns when we have the football. On defense, he doesn't like the way that the Niners were passing the ball late in that first half, so he wants to get much more pressure on Colin Kaepernick.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Second down and 8 from the 22. And Manning has time. Harris and the former Cowboy, some darting and dancing and all the way out to the 46-yard line.
These throws should be there. A lot of zone defense out of the 49ers tonight. So once you get up in behind that linebacker, and the key is if that offensive line can hold up, those deep crossing routes will take about 3 or 4 seconds to set up and get down the field. But so far for Eli, he's had plenty of time.
Last catch good for 24 for Dwayne Harris.
Bloomsburg. 180. 186.
Probing the middle. Rashad Jennings. Yard maybe 2, second down.
You have to be a little disappointed if you're the Giants that you're not running the ball. Here the safety's way back here, so this is just a great opportunity. Eli's making the right checks here, just trying to run the football at that look. But if you can't run them out of that 2 safety look, and there they are again, then it's going to be tougher to throw the football.
Second down and 8. Ooh, and then darting in was Bethea to almost pick it on a pass intended for Miles White. And you think you got a fan out on the field, I guess.
Yeah.
Not for long. So the crowd responds. That's what that's about. Gets tackled by about 6 security guys.
Got to be careful when you're messing around with a veteran football player. He showed Eli that look, but jumped it immediately. That was very close to 6 desperately needed points for the 49ers. Hope that guy enjoys his night in the big house.
Yeah.
Not Michigan.
Not Michigan. Well, Jim Tomsula, Tom Coughlin. He's getting a little escort out of here.
I've got a few lines that I am filtering through, and I am not saying any of them. I go to the big house with them.
Hit your cough button and tell me, would you?
Okay. I'll tell you in a break.
Yeah. Tell you what, that guy was a short yardage guy. He was putting up a heck of a struggle. Anyway, field is cleared. It's 3rd down and 8 at the 48-yard line. Shane Vereen in the backfield with Manning. And the 49ers are offside, but Manning dropped the ball. So you had action up front. Jaquiski Tart, one of the great names in the league, the rookie safety, may have been across the line. Jaquiski Tart. Well, Jaquiski was a good name as well, too. But
it was.
It's Jaquiski.
Offside, number 29.
There he is.
Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down. Quarterback was out of the pocket and got the ball back to the line of scrimmage.
Really, that was a great job by Weston Richburg. I think he snapped it waiting for Tart to go across the line, and that's what surprised Eli. There really wasn't a snap count at that moment. The minute he saw him cross that line, set up this 3rd and 3.
At the 49 or 47-yard line. Blitz coming. Manning gets it away, and it is incomplete. Beckham went to the ground and couldn't hold on. Brock covers, 4th down for the Giants.
Right now the 49ers are starting to mess around just a little bit with their safeties, clearly at one hop, but they was closing in on that one too. So they're showing a 2-safety look, but then they are jumping fast some of those underneath routes. So maybe an opportunity for Eli in this offense, some double moves at some point to try and take advantage of that.
Brad Wing, who came over from Pittsburgh at the start of the season, lost out on the starting job there. He's done a very good job here for the Giants, and it's fair caught at the 12-yard line by Jared Hayne. San Fran with the ball.
One of the most impressive passing drives we've seen out of Colin Kaepernick the last couple of games on that last drive before the half. Really some confident throws, zipping them in the way that he used to do. There's a little back shoulder when it was warranted. And you can see he's throwing the ball with confidence. Nice quick release, getting it out of his hands. Let's see if he can carry that forward now into the second half.
So the ball's at the 12-yard line. As the Niners start this drive, down 13-6. And they begin with a run. Hyde will get taken down in the backfield, but he's able to reverse field, and he's going to turn it into a nice little gain out to the 17. So Chris, we've been talking about what Kaepernick has been doing physically, throwing motion, and all of the rest. I'm going to ask you to play dime store psychologist
okay.
at this point. Tell me about his head right now.
He had a tough week a couple of weeks ago. Remember, they had the 2 pick sixes against Arizona and then didn't play well last week in that ball game either. So I think a lot of people around the building were kind of looking at him like, what's going on here? Are you starting to lose the touch of being the leader of this football team? But they were really excited with how he handled himself this week. Sometimes, Colin, when things don't go well, they call it going into the quiet warrior, where he goes, okay, I got it. And then he doesn't say anything the rest of the week, right? But this week, despite some of the issues he's had, he's been interacting with his teammates. He's had a smile on his face, and things have been going much better, and I think a little reflective in how he's played. He didn't go into a shell this week, which is good.
Merriweather got hurt on the last play, comes off the field. The momentary stoppage there. Miller makes the catch, and he gets taken down. Short of the first, we go to Michelle.
Well, I spoke with Anquan Bolden earlier in the week. He told me the receivers believe it's their job to make Kaepernick's job as easy as possible, and the plan tonight was to create some easy completions early. And Jim Tom Sula told me at halftime he was encouraged that indeed the offense was making plays, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Meanwhile, Craig Dahl comes in, a one-time 49er, to take Merriweather's spot. It's 3rd and 2. Giants rush 4, and the pass is caught by Anquan Bolden, breaking one tackle, and then Dole is able to bring him down at the 44-yard line. Threw it over McBride. Dole makes the tackle, and on 3rd and 2 to get 37 yards.
I think I would be working this a little bit more here. Tremaine McBride is coming off of a groin injury, and if you watched him throughout the course of that first half, you could tell he's really not up to full speed. Nice job there by Bolden, realizing McBride was probably going to strip away that left hand and just caught it with one.
From the 43. Good play action. That buys a ton of time. Deep downfield, a little too far for Vance McDonald, the tight end. He had Dole back there covering him. 2nd and 10.
This is that deep crossing route that Spagnuolo was worried about, going to come all the way across the field. But I got to tell you, Vance McDonald's got to dive for this ball. You got to lay out for your quarterback right there. I had a coach once in college, Lee McGriff, that made all of us, one of our guys didn't dive in a game. We had to dive without footballs for an entire practice out there. I mean, you got to lay out on that one.
2nd down and 10. Was he a player's coach?
Not that day.
Off to the races goes Carlos Hyde. And he gets tripped up as he reaches the 21-yard line. And Spagnuolo, watching his defense all of a sudden give up 2 big plays.
The power of Kaepernick here. When he fakes this bootleg, it forced Landon Collins just for a second to think, is he going out there? And it didn't give him time to get back in on the running back there. We see that all the time. Saw it today with Russell Wilson, too.
From the 21, they got Reggie Bush in the backfield. And they give it to him, and the one-time Heisman winner takes the ball close to a first down. Prince Amukamara making the stop.
Jordan Devy back in for Andrew Tiller now, and he came around and not only got the block, but also sort of got outside position. Watch him turn his hips all the way around to make it very clear here to his back exactly where that hole was. Good block by Devy.
2nd down and 1. Swings to the outside, push out of bounds short of the first down.
I tell you, Mark Hertzlick's a guy that I'm not sure if he went back through the combine, he would draw a whole lot of attention. But he's just a gamer. He makes plays in the game. He knows his assignment. He's not allowing people to get outside the containment of his responsibility. It's another good play on the edge. He made one earlier against Kaepernick.
Just to clean up the first half play, had Bush carrying his Carlos Hyde, 28, not 23. There's Devon Kennard, one of the Giants linebackers. And they've got the Aussie, Jared Hayne, the one-time rugby player, who's in the backfield. And they give it to him, and he takes the ball to the 3-yard line. A very interesting case. They bring him to camp. He was one of the great rugby players in the world. He said, oh, you know, I've done all I can there. Let me try the NFL, and here he is.
Here he is, and there he is. That was a nice run. Good job out here on the outside by Vance McDonald. I dogged him a bit for not diving for that ball, but boy, that was a good block inside to set that up. And 49ers are looking like something now.
First and goal from the 4. Payne again. Bouncing his way to the 3-yard line.
You know, he played rugby until he was 27 years old. So he started about 19, I guess. And they said Michelle has a great story. I'm not going to steal it from her, but they gave him the playbook, and apparently it was a bit of a mystery to him.
Well, Jeep Christ has been calling his number. They got Hyde back in there. Second down and goal. This drive began at the 49er 12. Kaepernick rolls and throws. Caught. Touchdown. Anquan Bolden. And the 49ers last in the league in scoring all kinds of offensive woes with a great drive. 88 yards. 10 plays.
Nice job by Torrey Smith setting this up and allowing Bolden to come underneath. You know, it was Torrey Smith last week who made the comment something along the lines of, you can't pass in the National Football League these days, you have no chance. They had some conversations with these receivers this week and said, hey, we've got to support our guy now. Colin Kaepernick, he'll get it going, he'll get it back together. And they watched the tape and agreed that it wasn't all his fault. And now these receivers starting to create some good things.
Dawson for the game-tying extra point. And with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, we have a ball game at the Meadowlands. 13-all. Nothing like driving into the Lincoln Tunnel if you can ever get there.
Take that middle lane, it's fast.
Around the Helix.
Learned that last night.
Try the Holland Tunnel too. That's a lot of fun. Touchback here. 13-all. Giants have the ball. 8 minutes to go in the third. Eric Mangini, the defensive coordinator, spent 3 years as the Jets head coach over in the other ballpark. Then went to the Browns. He was there for a couple of years. Then he went into television for a while. Joined this staff last year under Jim Harbaugh. Coached the tight ends, and then wound up with Odell Beckham carrying the ball here. Wound up as the defensive coordinator. Flag thrown. We have had very few in the game. In fact, only 4 accepted penalties, 2 on each team to this point.
Holding, number 73, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Wipes out an 8-yard gain. Marshall Newhouse flagged.
Yeah, once again, usually it's not anything horrible, but once that jersey gets tugged, now watch, he's going to change directions. There you go. That is going to be enough once it gets pulled away, and that could not have come at a worse time for the Giants. They're struggling a bit on offense. And back it up 10 after a good play.
First and 20 for Reen to the 16. It was first and 17, actually, not first and 20 after the penalty from the spot. So it's second down now. Second down. As Manning leads him up to the line, not allowing the 49ers to substitute.
Be careful now. We're starting to see some gamesmanship in this secondary. There's a few trap defenses being set here.
Second and 14. And reaching for it, making the catch. Short gain, Larry Donnell. And that's going to set up a third down and about 9 at the 21-yard line.
They're starting to rotate those safeties now. What starts off as a 2-deep safety look, now they're starting to rotate Bethea down and creating some opportunities for him to jump underneath some routes here.
This time only a 3-man rush. Caught. He has to get to the 30 and won't. That is Vereen to the 27-yard line. So the penalty backs him up. Jaquaski Tart making the tackle.
Boy, since that interception Eli threw right before the half, this game has just completely changed. It just felt like even if the Giants got a field goal right there, it was going to be completely one-sided the rest of the night. Get that interception, and now the momentum seems to be with the 49ers.
Brad Wing to now punt toward Jared Hayne. So one Aussie will send it in the air to the other. Great punt. Caught at the 18, but he has room down the sideline, does the former rugby player. Nice run back out to the 34. 49ers have the ball in a tie game. Our producer with a little bit of a tie to them.
Legendary player there.
That was Joe Girardi, the Yankee manager, giving the pregame talk yesterday, and that pass is incomplete on first down.
Well, let's just see now if Kaepernick can keep this thing rolling. He had to throw a little low but intentional in the game. A week ago, he threw a couple one-hoppers that were not intentional. But at least now with the passes that he's completing, it's also opening things for the running game as well. Carlos Hyde now 4 carries for 35 yards in just this half after just 12 yards in the first half.
2nd and 10 from the 34. Ton of time off the play fake and then dropped out in the flat, and that's Hyde. Hyde was limping back to the huddle at one point. Now he's going to come out. Reggie Bush has an injured calf, so I'm not sure about his availability. It's 3rd down.
You could almost tell by the way he didn't bend for that ball. Usually you just sort of shuffle your feet and you make a nice easy catch. I'll tell you, we're not having anybody standing by the end of this one.
Yeah, now that he's on the sideline, and it's Tom Rappin, running backs coach. Now you got Jared Hayne. They put the rugby player in alongside Kaepernick on 3rd down and 10. And Collins steps up, throws, catching it on the run. Flag is thrown. That's Torrey Smith. He's a little short of the first down. Each team signals the other is the culprit. What else is new? Walt Coleman will be the judge and jury.
Holding, number 75, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Alex Boone.
Well, guess who he's trying to block? Nikita Whitlock right here, the Tasmanian Devil inside. Everything is either a spin move or a fake spin move, and he's going to draw the whole dare. You could see the difference in the size. Whitlock just 5'10", and Boone almost having to do a dip or a downward bench press or something to try and get his hands on him. He was a defensive lineman in college and a good one, and we're going to leave him in there, see what else he can get done.
Coughlin thinking about field position as much as anything else. Had the opportunity to make it 4th and 2 and a punt. Instead, back to 3rd and 20. Fake the Patton coming around, and they give it to him, and Patton gets tripped up. So they run that jet sweep, which was a good play for them last week. Trevin Wade makes the tackle for New York. 4th and a mile.
Here's a little touch pass forward that they hit for a big one a week ago. Not so much here, but I'll tell you, Chief Christ has stuck to his game plan. He was not going to put his quarterback in a bad position on 3rd and long again. Safe play and punt it away, let your defense get it done.
Here's Pinion's punt. Harris. And Harris with a nice run back as he brings it back to the 39-yard line. 47-yard boot, 4.5 to go in the 3rd. Columbus Days. Take a look at Columbus Circle off Central Park South in Manhattan. 4.5 to go, 3rd quarter. From the 39, the Giants start this drive.
What is it? 180. What is it?
Eli a little dump off. Jennings to the 44-yard line. Well, Tom Coughlin did such a masterful job with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They came into the league expansion franchise, got them to the AFC Championship game in their 2nd season. A lot of success there. Then out before that Boston College, and here with the Giants now for a dozen seasons. And Rashad Jennings takes that ball to the 50, and that's a first down.
Going to fake that quick screen out there this time and turn around and give it to Rashad Jennings, who really the last couple of weeks when this team needed it most, think of the big plays he's made. He had the punt block for a safety, and then that great catch and run 51 yards a week ago at the pivotal point in that Buffalo game.
Beckham, free over the middle, tries to spin around. First down, gain of 16. Will Hoyt makes the stop.
I tell you, when he catches the ball, watch the guys just corral him. Nobody's going to go try and take a big shot on him because they know you can't catch him. He is just so quick. They just sort of try to get him surrounded like a punt returner.
And he steps up to avoid the pressure, then a dump off underneath to Jennings for a small gain. 3 minutes to go in the period.
Well, they have just stayed with this 2-minute set, haven't they? They are going to just keep the pressure on.
Second down, 6 now.
1-3. 3-3. 180. All right, set.
Yeah, he goes to that man tie again. Made his first catch of his career in the first quarter and pulls in another one here. He's been very instrumental in a couple of drives, 4 catches for 49 yards.
On the outside, we'll watch Eric Flowers one more time, and he gets that death grip on you. Even if you are Aaron Lynch, he's going to hang on to it. Very gutsy young man. He's made a huge impression around here.
Third and a deuce.
180. All right, set.
When Eli slings it complete to the 17-yard line, Dwayne Harris makes the catch. Popped by Jimmy Ward. Another first down.
I don't know how Eli got that one off. Aaron Lynch came right around Flowers that time on the edge here. Is going to get a shot on Eli Manning, who somehow got enough into that throw. And that was a gutsy catch that time by Dwayne Harris. He knew he was going to get whacked in the ribs.
From the 17 now, with a minute and a half to play in the third quarter.
180. All right, set.
Manning stepping up to Beckham, and Beckham will run around the defense for a touchdown. Aaron Lynch had his hand on Manning's shirt, and then Beckham makes the catch and sprints away for 17 yards and is saluted by Victor Cruz.
I'm not so sure they weren't a little messed up in the secondary there. Kenneth Acker, for some reason, against one of the great threats in the game, just backed off into the end zone almost, and there was nobody underneath. And Eli Manning saw it. He just couldn't get the ball to him because there was so much pressure on him.
Beckham now 7 catches tonight, 121 yards, and the go-ahead touchdown. Brown converts. And with a minute and 14 to play in the third quarter, it's 20-13 Giants.
See, Acker is just going to back off here, and there's really no underneath coverage. See these guys talking right before the snap? I'm not sure they got it communicated correctly. Now Eli's in trouble, but he's got his eye on Beckham the whole way. So nice job there, not only by Odell Beckham Jr., but by Eli Manning just hanging in and somehow getting that ball off. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. I think a slight miscommunication from the 49ers, and it cost him. Good luck here. No corralling him that time. I tell you, Aaron Lynch has been so close tonight. They're chipping, they're helping, they're doing everything. Gets his hands on Eli, spins him. He still throws a touchdown pass.
Manning tonight over 300 yards, 30 out of 39. His second touchdown pass of the night. The other one was a short one to Vereen early on. 20-13.
Who's the last receiver you remember coming into the league with that kind of an impact? Randy Moss, maybe?
Maybe. I was thinking of Randy Moss would be the first guy I would think of. I mean, Jerry Rice made a pretty quick involvement, I think, into the NFL early on. Maybe in his second year, you began to think, oh, this guy's really something.
Yeah. Unbelievable change of direction.
And these two guys hook up 11 targets tonight. 7 completions for 121 and that last touchdown. You know, another guy I think about is Torrey Holt came on early in his career.
Yep. With a good team.
Yep. Greatest show on turf. Carlos Hyde, who limped off the last time they had the ball, is back in there. And Hyde won't go anywhere. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Kaepernick, the length of his completions tonight. You saw that chart before in the Green Bay game last week. So from the line of scrimmage, he's in double figures on 2 of his 16 completions. Final minute of the quarter. Caught on the run to the 26. That's Blake Bell, fullback / tight end. Makes it 3rd down and 4.
It's interesting tonight because Kaepernick, when he has been on the move or out of the pocket, it's almost been by design. And earlier this year, it's always sort of been an ad-lib kind of play. It's a little tighter around Kaepernick with this game plan tonight.
Trips to the left, 3rd down and 4. They don't have to run a play because it's the end of the quarter.
Well, call timeout.
They called a timeout, but they didn't have to.
San Francisco.
They didn't have to call a timeout.
Seconds, please.
Oh, that's a big mistake.
Right, because the play clock was 2 seconds behind the game clock.
He knew it was messed up, and he just didn't realize how much time was left in the quarter. It's just a mistake.
He's looking at the play clock. Here it is.
The amazing thing about it, though, is the game clock. Oh, I see down on the field, it's a completely separate clock.
Sure.
He never looked up to see that. The field clock, the 25-second clock, is on the field down at the lowest of levels. The one with the play clock right next to it is up above, and I'm sure he was looking at the one on field level.
And that's a wasted timeout, which, of course, there's your play clock. That's the one he's going to look at. The game clock is up above it.
Right above it there, you'll see. Right there is where they're all together.
They need an NBA deal. You get the 24-second clock and the game clock behind the backboard. Well, 3rd down and 4 after the wasted timeout. And that's caught over the middle, so at least they convert as Bolden makes the catch at the 33, and that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. 20-13, New York. Sunday Night Football continues after these messages. Aerial coverage provided tonight by Geico as we look at the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. Taking it from Brooklyn to Staten Island or reverse. Hope you have your easy pass. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. Sunday Night Football, good game. And we start the 4th quarter with a 1st down play. Hyde for a gain of 4. Just to refresh now, including today's games in the National Football League standings, which we'll have for you in a second. There it is. Arizona on top in the West. 49ers 1-3, and the Giants with a win would be an undisputed possession of first place. Every other team in the NFC East now 2-3. Kaepernick buying time and just has to sling that into the San Francisco bench. 3rd and 6.
There really wasn't a check down on that play. You'll look on the outside, and Kamara's out there, Carlos Hyde. There really was nothing on the outside, but all 3 interior receivers went down the field. And one of the things that Chief Christ wanted out of Kaepernick tonight was, instead of running, hitting some of those check downs, there just wasn't one available on that one.
3rd and 6.
They got blitzers coming from everywhere here. Nice job.
And away they go. Good job. Found the open man. Garrett Selleck, the tight end. 1st down at the Giant 49-yard line.
There's nothing better as a quarterback than to make somebody pay for coming after you. They were coming from everywhere, calmly read it out, threw it right into the blitz, picked up a big first down. You can tell that Kaepernick tonight almost has taken a deep breath and is seeing the field much better than what I think he's been seeing it the last couple of weeks.
At the 48-yard line. High, gain of 5. You know, at least, Chris, they haven't gotten blown out. I mean, their 2 road games to this point were total disasters. At Pittsburgh, fell behind early. At Arizona, all the talk in San Francisco about all the stuff that was going on with this team. Defensively, they were playing all right. Offensively, pretty bad. The offensive line was under the gun, and Kaepernick was really under the gun.
Well, as someone who lost 2 Super Bowls to the San Francisco 49ers franchise, I don't think playing okay is good enough for this team, right? Not getting blown out is not their standard.
And 2nd and 5, deep down the middle, double coverage, flag thrown, and a couple of guys are down. Landon Collins popping Torrey Smith. Smith gets up, and now Collins does too. Merriweather in the area, and Coughlin is outraged at the flag.
What Coughlin is saying is, my guy can go for the ball too.
21 defense. Ball we placed in spite of the foul. First down.
You can't deny him the right to go for the football, even if it's through the receiver. Here we go. Let's watch Landon Collins from right there. And it is going to be whether or not they think he was going for the ball. And I think that you can make a pretty strong argument that he was.
But it'll be a losing argument, a 28-yard penalty. First down at the 15-yard line. To the outside, high, around the corner he goes, and out of bounds after a first down. Amukamara shoves him out, and that'll make it a first down and goal at the 2.
There we go, right on the edge. Herzlich's been making some nice plays on the edge, but that time McDonald got the better of him, who's had a pretty good night out here blocking. He's a pretty good blocker. He's had a few drops this year, a bit of a concern, but blocking on the edge, he's done well.
Trying to run it in. Hyde for a loss. Back to the 5. 2nd and goal.
Now I know that Merriweather's going to shoot through here, right here, make this, but you're on the goal line. You're 225 pounds. You put your head down. There's nowhere to go outside. And it's interesting. We even talked to Carlos about this yesterday, and he said, "You know what? I do that too much. I do. I've got to attack the point where I'm supposed to go. I just do that too much." And it got him that time there too.
Second good long drive of the half of the 49ers at 2nd and goal. 12 minutes to go in the 4th. Kaepernick to the end zone, too high, too tall for Bolden. 3rd and goal.
You know, the hard part is on those throws, you got to trust it. And when things have not gone well, he just has to throw that one sooner and with a little height and give his guy a chance. He held it, wanted to see it, and by the time you do that, it's too late, and he had to throw it out of his reach. You just got to throw it now. It's got to be in the air, and it's got to be high, and it really should have been a touchdown. Just the timing wasn't there.
Bolden to the left, Torrey Smith wide right. Four-man rush, over the middle, caught, touchdown, Garrett Selleck. Pretty good day for the Selleck boys. Brent, the tight end in Philadelphia, and Garrett catches a touchdown pass here, which puts them an extra point away from tying the game.
Waniunga that time took the bait. You're going to see a little out and up move, and watch the inside linebacker here just try to jump underneath it. And Waniunga that time was beaten. Young player. It's a route we see a lot down in the red zone, and this game continues to be fun and a good comeback game for Colin Kaepernick.
Well, he had an 88-yard drive. That one was 80. And the extra point by Dawson ties us. with 11:49 remaining in the fourth quarter, 2020. Ring of Honor has some new members tonight because Chris Snee was there, Giants guard for 10 years, son-in-law of Tom Coughlin. Oshie Umenyiora, 12 years in the National Football League. Jack Lemus, an old New York Giant, and John Johnson, who was a trainer at the age of 98 years old, and he was taping ankles a couple of Super Bowls ago.
It's great. There is such a subculture within the National Football League, and the guys that you see every day in the clubhouse and all that. But two good players there with Osi and Chris Snee. And Chris lost some weight. He's down in fighting shape, isn't he?
Well, we have to see it. We have to see if Beckham's in fighting shape. We saw him struggling a little on the sideline, and that's deflected and then taken back from the 20-yard line by Vereen. 11:44 remaining in regulation in a tie game at the Meadowlands. What's the story with Beckham? Let's go to Michelle.
Well, after scoring that last touchdown, Beckham sort of limped off the field and was met on the sidelines by the Giants medical staff. He's officially questionable with a hamstring injury. They were looking at both hamstrings, stretching him out, and as you know, Al, he has had a history of chronic hamstring injuries.
Yes, he has, and it cost him the first 4 games last season, so he is out, and that's a 4-yard gain on a pass to Larry Donnell for the moment. You got Jeremy Davis, a rookie out of Connecticut, who would be in at a wide-out spot. You got Randall, you got Harris as well, and then Davis and Miles White would be their other wide-out. Second down and 5.
118. I said.
Jennings will come up a yard short, so it's 3rd down and 1.
Al, I know it's hard to explain if you've never had a hamstring injury, but for someone who plays an explosive position like wide receiver, it is just so hard to trust yourself to run full speed and make explosive moves because you're always living in that fear that you're going to pull that thing again. And of course, Victor Cruz unavailable as well.
Yep. The knee surgery in the offseason. Still hasn't played this year. And that is caught for a first down by Jeremy Davis, the rookie from Connecticut, a 6th-round pick.
Well, one thing you always have to know about a receiver, is he going to be willing to run over the middle here and take a hit? Nice job. Good clutch play. You come in the game, you want to do something good for your team getting started. You're replacing Odell Beckham. Good luck. It's a good start, though.
His second catch of the year. And here's Randall making the catch and then going to the ground at the 46-yard line, gain of 8.
Just a lot of very basic zone defenses. You get the feeling that Eric Mangini, in between the 30s at least, just going to make sure nothing gets over the top. And oh boy, if you're a Giants fan, you're a football fan, you're hating seeing that.
Second down and 2 from the 46. Jennings, enough for a first down. Tackled by Dorsey. Giants will have it at the 43. 9.5 to play.
One of the guys that I think has gotten better every single week here has been the right guard, Jeff Schwartz. Now, he was basically platooning with John Jerry in the first game of the year, but he has sort of taken ownership of that right guard position now.
Inside handoff to Jennings. Tough running right there. Navarro Bowman makes a stop, pickup of about 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
I'll tell you, a guy, Al, that's made a big impression on me tonight is this tight end Will Tye, a rookie. He's a fast guy. He ran under 4.5 at his pro days, made some nice catches down the field. They're using him at fullback. They're using him at tight end on the end of the line of scrimmage. He's taken on a lot of the functions now that Daniel Fells would ordinarily be doing.
He sets up on the right side. Manning has time and has to dump it off underneath to Jennings. Fights to the first down, gets it to the 31-yard line. Manning getting away from Lynch.
It's almost a two-man game, isn't it? It's Eli Manning against Aaron Lynch. And if Lynch goes high, Eli Manning's ducking up and underneath. You almost get the feeling that Eli knows exactly where Aaron Lynch is on every single snap.
351 passing yards from Manning tonight. Comes back into the shotgun. Randall comes into the slot on the left. And the pass goes to Randall. And that's a pickup of about 6. Antoine Bethea makes the tackle.
Nice job by Ruben Randall. I can remember a time they're going to bring a slot blitz here. And there was a time that Randall may not have known what he was doing. He now is pretty sophisticated with this offense. They worked hard coaching him up, and he's been playing well for the Giants.
2nd and 3. Manning. Jennings. Flag is thrown. Jennings takes it to the 4. You got a flag back at the line of scrimmage, and Coughlin is angry, so you know it's against.
Holding, number 73, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Second big penalty on the right tackle, Newhouse.
And Newhouse has seen Aaron Lynch go inside and outside, so he's never quite sure. This time he goes the outside. You can see the hook right around the neck. Easy call for the officials. Boy, when you get in that position, I think they usually let you get away with it for a second as long as you're pulling it down and away. That time, Newhouse just stayed on that one a little too long.
He knows. They won a 20-yard gain, 2nd down and 13 at the 34-yard line. Manning rolls away. Caught Vereen. And Vereen gets a lot of that yardage back as Wilhoit makes the tackle. 3rd and short upcoming.
From the day he got here, Eli has talked about what a natural feel he has for Shane Vereen, that his body language tells me exactly what he's going to do. He understands how to read defenses. That time saw the zone, sat down, and almost picked up that 1st down.
3rd down and 2.
57. You gotta come this 53. 180.
And that's caught right over the middle. Dwayne Harris. Eli, like that old fishing term, catch and release.
Yeah, or playing the piano. That's what Ben McAdoo, the offensive coordinator, wants him to do with his feet. Watch Eli's feet. You watched him early in his career. He wasn't quite that nimble in the backfield. They do a ton of drills on getting Eli's feet in the right position to throw the football. And you can see he has really embraced what Ben McAdoo's been teaching. Of course, brought it over from the Green Bay Packers.
1st down, Vereen is the running back. The fake to the end zone. Almost intercepted. Acker had it in his hands, couldn't hold on. Intended for Miles White. Acker, a near pick. 2nd down and 10.
They thought they had it as the safety jumped up underneath, but Acker ends up undercutting this, and these are just the kind of games when you're going bad that you miss. Championship teams make that interception, turn the ball back over to your quarterback, and go try to win.
2nd and 10. Inside 6 minutes remaining in regulation.
180.
Inside handoff. Chugging his way to the 11 is Shane Vereen. Setting up a big 3rd down, 3rd and 7. Of course, at this point in the game, tie game, every 3rd down is big.
Well, you just can't have a big mistake. You obviously want the lead here, but Kaepernick and the 49ers have been hot too. Don't want to give away last touch in this game.
3rd and 7 from the 11.
Hey, you got Huskies to 27.
I bet you Eli can't believe who's playing receiver for him right now.
Keep it on the ground. Vereen, and he thrusts forward to the 5-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 1. Do you or don't you?
Oh boy, here we go. I think
you got to take the lead, and that's what he is going to do. The crowd, of course, would love to see him go for it.
You know, maybe if Kaepernick hadn't gotten hot here at the end, but that's a long one. That's at least a 1. You take the lead here and see what happens.
So a 24-yard field goal attempt for Josh Brown. And that puts the Giants back up on top with 4.5 to play in regulation. 3-point Giant lead.
You can feel the history in that building when you go in there. It is a great place.
For certain. So Beckham is out. We saw them working on Randall when they came off the field. It's a 3-point game. 49ers trying to stop a 3-game skid. And they will begin this drive. They've had 2 good long ones in this half from the 20-yard line. This drive from the 20-yard line, Colin Kaepernick swings it to the outside, and getting some nice blocking is Torrey Smith. Very well designed and well executed play for a gain of 26.
You've got both your inside linebackers up, and that means no support. So you hit this play. Remember, they came to that the first couple of plays or whatever of the ball game, then went away on a mistake in the blocking assignments. That play now has worked 3 out of 4 times. They may come back to it again.
We have Boone and Staley, the left guard, left tackle, out in front, providing the convoy. From the 45. And for Bolden, reaching up, makes the catch. Trevin Wade covering him on the play. Decent coverage. Perfectly thrown. Another first down. A gain of 26.
It's the second big play that Bolden's had out of the slot. Just taking off down the middle of the field. One-on-one, single high safety. Nice job reading that by Kaepernick and taking advantage. Trevin Wade, probably their 4th at least best cornerback, and Kaepernick took advantage of it.
From the 29 with 3:12. Wide to the outside. Gets around the corner. Comes into a decent gain. Forced out by Merriweather. And reaching now for his leg is Hyde. Remember, he had to come off earlier. Was limping. Reggie Bush is out right now. He hasn't played since playing very sparingly early on.
This is always tough. You want your best player out there in a key position. You see him limping. You never know as a coach what's the right decision here.
2nd and 2. Give it to him again. There goes Hyde to the 2. Well, whatever ails him is now ailing the Giants. Beautiful run there. Right through the middle he goes. Gain of 19, 1st and goal.
Going to have this backside come across here and get the last one. That was Cullen Jenkins who had a shot at him, but as the tight end came across, just nicked him enough to allow Hyde to get through there. I think Tom Sula made the right decision leaving him in there.
1st and goal. Hyde behind the fullback. Miller. To the outside he goes, around the corner but not far. Loses 1. 2nd down and goal. This is going to take us probably to the 2-minute warning.
Heck of a play by Jonathan Hankins there, just splitting the gap and getting right underneath Marcus Martin on that one.
Well, in some quarters, people thought this would be a rout. Been anything but. Giants by 3. 2 minutes to play.
Time to win a fight on Sunday night.
So 2 minutes to play. 2nd down and goal, San Francisco from the 4-yard line. Kaepernick rolling and looking and throwing, and a flag is thrown. Torrey Smith was the intended receiver. Rogers Cromartie was the covering.
I think you're going to get a hold on Rogers Cromartie.
Yep, and that's going to make it a 1st down.
Prior to the pass, holding number 41 defense. At the distance of the goal, 1st down.
Take the ball to the 2.
Torrey Smith on the outside, and again, it's that little tug of the jersey on the backside. It's so hard to play defense in this league, but naturally want to grab that, and it is so easy to see. It just makes those jobs easier for the referees.
Tight formation on a 1st and goal from the 2. Kaepernick will throw, and that's incomplete. And Miller was in the neighborhood. Collins was there as well. Might have deflected it. Garrett Selleck, dangerous pass, 2nd and goal.
Boy, I tell you, I can't believe they did that one. That should have been intercepted. Who was this? Was that Collins? Oh, man, they get away with one there. Wow. That was game, set, and match right there.
Hyde, the running back. Give it to him. Looks for room. Into the end zone he goes. Carlos Hyde to give San Francisco the lead with 1:45 to play.
The strength of the San Francisco 49ers is on their offensive left side, and you're going to see the power right over here. They take care of these 2 blocks. Alex Boone, Joe Staley, they're the 2 best, and when everything was on the line, that's exactly where they went for the go-ahead touchdown.
And a touchdown, obviously, so much more. A field goal would have tied the game. Now you put the Giants in a position where they're going to need a touchdown and not a field goal, assuming Dawson kicks the extra point with 1:45.
Can't assume that anymore either.
You can't assume anything anymore. But now you can assume the 49ers have a 4-point lead. The Giants have all of their timeouts. That's 3 very long scoring drives.
Boy, the 4th quarter has not been good to Tom Coughlin and these Giants.
Well, the Giants have had woes in every 4th quarter, including their 2 wins this season. You have the 2 losses with double-digit leads at Dallas and against Atlanta, giving up the most yards allowed, and even against Washington, they let Washington back into the game. And then Buffalo started to make some noise last week before the pass to Jennings. So in every 4th quarter, the Giants have had issues. Meanwhile, one thing can be put to rest in the Bay Area, I think. Nobody's going to be talking about Blaine Gabbert taking over for Kaepernick just yet.
No, I don't think so at all. That was a very impressive drive. I can't emphasize enough how much pressure was on Colin Kaepernick. I mean, they were talking about that he's got to be benched, right? I mean, that was the conversation. We talked to the coaches about it. What do you think about Blaine Gabbert? Would you make the move? And then all of a sudden, Colin Kaepernick, the guy who has taken his team to championship games and Super Bowls, came out and played in this one tonight.
Well, it took him 4.5 games. You started halftime of this game. He's had 2 drives of 80 and another of 88. And coming out of the end zone with this one is Vereen. And he gets tackled up at the 17. We go to Michelle.
Well, New York may have all their timeouts for this drive, but not all their wide receivers. Ruben Randall is out now with a hamstring injury. Remember, Odell Beckham Jr. is officially questionable with a hamstring injury. He's been trying to sprint, trying to move on that sideline, but it doesn't look like he's coming in, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. So you have Dwayne Harris, Jeremy Davis, and Miles White as your wideouts. Of course, you also have Vereen. You got your tight end, Donnell. But let's see what Eli can do now from the 18. And then stepping up, and he's going to run for a first down. He's been trying to get out of bounds, and then he's bounced back by Tremaine Brock. And the Giants have a first down. Forward progress nets him the first. Takes a pretty good blow there from the 29. And Manning will dump this one underneath, and that's caught by Vereen. He gets taken down, and the Giants take a timeout with 71 seconds remaining in regulation.
I would double team Shane Vereen. I would make somebody else on that field beat me at this point. That's the one receiver we know Eli is very comfortable with. You can't let him come out of the backfield and dink, dink, dink down the field. Eric Mangini. Of course, you got to play it. You don't want to give up the big play. Can't give up the home run. But the Giants, with all those timeouts and Eli Manning, A ton of time to make this happen.
From the 40. Sets Harris in the slot to the right side. And a stunt up front. And then the pass is underthrown and incomplete, intended for Miles White.
There's just no way, Al, that you've got any experience at all throwing back shoulders to Miles White other than maybe, once or twice in the whole time that he's been in camp?
Sure.
And that's such a timing throw where you know exactly where the guy's going to break. You got to throw it early.
He's got Harris, who just came over this year. He's got Davis. Instead, it's Vereen, and Vereen's getting free to the 43. Tart makes the tackle. You're right. He's the one guy you think you put the extra man on. Gain of 16.
Well, they're protecting deep with those two deep safeties, but that means now one-on-one with Tart and Vereen.
Team timeout. Giants, 30-second timeout.
And Tom Coughlin, I think, is saying, why'd you call the timeout? And Walt Coleman's going to come over and say, your man asked for one. Tom did not want a timeout there.
And Tom's going to say, which man asked for one? Eli was looking around like he didn't know what they were talking about. Go figure that Dwayne Harris now is the veteran of the receiving group for Tom Coughlin.
So here's Eli. Well, he puts his...
that may be just a signal to the wide receiver that they use.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, all those hand signals, and they always like to keep them low so that the offensive lineman sort of hides what they're doing.
Please reset the clock to 50 seconds, please.
Well, the only good news for the Giants after an unwanted timeout is they put 3 more seconds back on the clock. Here's Eli.
Yeah, I don't think he's calling timeout. I think he's saying this, whatever that signal means, I don't know. It's world famous now, though.
From the 44 now, the Giants have 1 timeout. And Manning's going to throw deep downfield, and that one is picked off. Tremaine Brock. And he'll go to the ground at the 13-yard line.
Let's see if he picked that one off.
Of course, they'll take a look at it, obviously, with inside 2 minutes. Did he come up with it cleanly is the question. Rolled with it. There's no challenge inside 2 minutes, and they're going to look at it anyway. Now the officials are all gathering. And they will contend.
No way. I think that one hit the ground. It looks like it goes in between his arms on the ground.
The ruling on the field is an interception. The play will be reviewed.
Right, and that's pretty obvious right there. So the Giants figure to keep the ball when we come back with 41 seconds. Well, they're going to overturn the call. The Giants are going to keep the ball. Here's Walt to make it official.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has changed. It's incomplete. The second and 10 at the 44-yard line. Please reset the clock to 45 seconds, please. 45 seconds, please.
So 45 there. It is pretty evident right there. Very clear. Ball at the 44. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. And the good news for the Giants right there is Odell Beckham is back in the game, and if nothing else, he will certainly draw enough attention in that secondary.
Looks like he's saying a little hamstring prayer right there, too. Even if they don't ever intend to throw him the ball, the attention he should draw being on the field will give others an opportunity.
Tremaine Brock is on him one-on-one right now. Send Vereen into the slot as they empty the backfield.
Vereen's one-on-one, too.
On 2nd down and 10. And Eli under pressure, and he has to throw it into the ground because coming his way was Aaron Lynch. Been in that offensive backfield all night. 3rd down. And he wants grounding because he says he was inside the tackle box, is what Tom Sewell is saying.
Yeah, and Vereen was breaking that way, so I think it was enough of an effort that way. Got knocked down by one of the defensive linemen, so I don't think he would have gotten that call anyway. But Lynch, be careful with him. He has been getting close all night.
3rd and 10. Beckham again, top of the screen. Eli, a little dump to Vereen. As blocking, Vereen is going to take the ball all the way to the 19-yard line. 30 seconds, one timeout left. And the Giants take a timeout. 24-yard game.
Final team timeout. Giants, 30-second timeout.
Really nice job by the center, Weston Richburg. Watch him get out here on this one and ensure that Vereen's going to get that opportunity. Taking on Keith Reeser, but I find it a little hard to believe that Shane Vereen, the only real viable receiver in Eli Manning's mind on the field right now, is going to beat him. You can't let that guy beat you.
New left guard is John Jerry. You saw Justin Pugh limp off the field. Giants out of timeouts. Now you got Beckham set to the left side behind Harris in a stack. Eli 429 yards through the air. Beckham comes wider to the outside. 20-yard line, and Eli in the pocket, going deep, flag thrown at the 11-yard line. That's Beckham with Kenneth Acker. That's going to be a hold.
Will it be a hold or pass interference? It could be either. That ball was in the air, but they'll probably call it a hold.
Yeah, move it to the 12.
Pass interference.
Yeah,
they do.
Defense.
It's a good call.
First down.
You'll be able to see the hold, and from above you could tell there's a jersey grab right there, but you could tell from above that that ball was gone when that foul took place. Good call by the officials.
8-yard penalty as it turns out. 26 seconds. Beckham to the right side this time, one-on-one with Brock. Eli in the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Larry Donnell. What a drive. Let's make sure it's a catch and a score. Obviously, they'll look at it. Does he control it? All the way to the ground in bounds.
Boy, that is such a great catch. The fact that nobody could knock that ball out of his hands. It's loose there. He has it. He's down. If that thing moves right there at all, they're going to call it incomplete, but he held it. Unbelievable. What a perfectly thrown ball, and what an unbelievable catch by Larry Donnell.
Touchdown confirmed.
Wow.
Josh Brown for the extra point. 8 plays, 82 yards. It took them 84 seconds. And the 49ers have 21 seconds to try to get within field goal range.
Wow, what a ball there.
Amazing drive.
This is some catch. He has to reach over the top of Bowman, lift it up, now grab it, land, and if that ball wiggles at all, that is going to be incomplete, going to the ground, not controlling the football, but they can't strip it. Fantastic play. What a clutch play. And Odell Beckham, just being in the game, created opportunities. Just being in there.
And the 49ers unable to defend Shane Vereen on the march down the field.
Wow. Wow.
Cruz comes out onto the field. The 49ers have, for what it's worth, a couple of timeouts. They send Ellington back into the end zone as Josh Brown will kick off.
And if you're wondering, Phil Dawson, a career long of 56 yards. So you probably have to get it somewhere at least inside the 40-yard line to have a shot.
And instead it's a bouncing ball. Fielded up at the 19. Oh, and Miller's going right down there to save some time on the clock, but he had a chance to, maybe bring it back to the 30 or so. In any event, 17 seconds now. Dawson staying loose, and Kaepernick will have a couple of opportunities to try to get them into field goal range.
Don't forget the wasted timeout. I don't know if it's going to come into play or not, but it might. 49ers wasted one right before the end of the third quarter.
Beckham getting the crowd stirred up. Talking about putting a couple of seconds on the clock. I don't know what this is about. Clearly much ado about nothing. All right, from the 22. Kaepernick, who's had a tremendous second half. Buying time, runs out of room, throws incomplete. That took 6 seconds. You're down to 11. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, I spoke to Phil Dawson before the game. He told me his range is 56 and in. He converted a 56-yarder in the pregame. He said to me, the turf is great. The conditions are perfect. If I have an opportunity like that and I miss, it's on me.
All right, Michelle, and it's a windless night.
The guy that has made so many catches like this is a guy named Anquan Bolden, where you just give him a chance, throw something up, let him see if he can out-jump Landon Collins. We've seen it before.
He's in the slot to the right. Kaepernick's rolling the other way, and he's going to be taken down with 4 seconds by DeMontre Moore. So the Giants not letting anybody get free. And now you're down to barring a defensive foul, probably the final play of the game.
J.T. Thomas just came unblocked up the middle, and Kaepernick, that was clearly not by design. Nobody blocked him. Not sure if that was Hyde's man or not.
Giants playing the old cover 7 right now. Everybody back. 3rd and 13. Now you're looking for laterals if you can, but you won't even get that. Bolden. End of the game. The Giants pull one out of the hat. And for the 49ers, that's going to be a really long ride home. They played well. They played much better than most people thought. It's their best game clearly since opening night, but not enough. Giants lead the East now. They go to 3-2. Niners go to 1-4. As they win the game by a score of 30-27. A masterful last drive of the night when Eli throws for 441 yards. There's the winning touchdown. Donnell hauling it in. A brilliant catch. Coming up next, it'll be the Volkswagen post-game report. And you'll see that right after these messages from your NBC station.